Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to be cooking from the Elder Scrolls Cookbook and making lavender and honey bread. A little bit different. I'm intrigued and am looking forward to showing this off. I've been promising to do bread for a while and I'm finally getting around to it. So for all of those of you who've been requesting it, thank you for being patient. And let's get started. Today we're going to need 2 cups of whole wheat flour and 2 cups of all-purpose flour, as well as 1 1/4 cups of warm milk, 1/3 cup of honey, 1/4 cup of butter, unsalted, 2 teaspoons of instant dry yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of culinary lavender. So first off, I'm just going to start by mixing together the 2 flours, just so that they're evenly dispersed in the bowl. And then I'll set this aside for a minute. So that's good. First thing I need to do is bring my mixer over so I can incorporate these things into the bowl. And again, this is 1 1/4 cups of warm milk. You want it close to 110 without going too far over. You want it warm enough to melt the honey and the butter, but you don't want it so hot that it kills your yeast when you put it in. And I'm going to go ahead and add the milk and the butter. I did go ahead and start pre-melting my butter a little bit, just to help with this process. And I also want to add in my honey at this time. And the honey is what is going to help feed the yeast and cause it to start activating. There we go. And I'm going to add my 2 teaspoons of yeast at this time so it can start doing its little yeasty things. And I'm also going to add in 1 heaping tablespoon of the culinary lavender. I ended up ordering this online. It's not something I typically find in my stores around here, but it is readily available on the internet. It smells good already. Alright, let me go ahead and give this a quick little stir. Alright, let's get this stirred up and get the butter and honey melted. What little pieces of butter haven't melted will incorporate into your flour when you start adding it. Now, I'm not going to add my salt at this point. I'm going to wait until after I get the flour in, just because sometimes salt makes yeast take longer to work. So you'll end up with a longer rise time. That looks pretty good at this point. So let's get that out of the way. Now the recipe says to add our flour in a cup at a time. So that is what we're going to do. And I'm just going to dump the first cup in and start mixing it. And then I'll add more as it needs it. Okay, I'm getting ready to add the second cup of flour in. And at this point, I'm going to add my salt in at the same time, because I don't want to forget to get it in there. And bread without salt does not work. You need that salt to help bring flavor to it. And I'm going to put that right on top of the flour and mix it in. Alright guys, at this point I've added all but probably half a cup of flour. So the bread is pulled away from the sides of the bowl and it's no longer sticky. So I'm going to let it knead for about 5 minutes on the machine, and I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like at that point. Okay, it's been 5 minutes since we've been kneading this. I'm going to go ahead and just dump it out here on my counter because I like to give it a last couple of little kneads by hand. But you can tell it's not sticky at all. It bounces back when you push down on it, which is exactly what you want. And I just like to hand knead it a little bit. And I also need to get it rolled out into a loaf shape. So while I'm getting this kneaded out for a few more minutes, let me remind you guys of the community-driven playlist that Death and I have going on our channels. If you would like to be a part of that, all you need to do is go out and make a cooking video and post it to your channel. And Japik or I will come over and take a look at it and get it added to the playlist. It's been growing by leaps and bounds. I think we're approaching like 70 videos on it already, which is absolutely amazing. There have been a lot of really good recipes. I tried one this weekend. It was Ritten's pulled pork, and let me tell you guys, well worth the effort in making that one. That is one I will definitely be doing again. Alright, so that's pretty much the shape of my pan here. I have got an, let me see what size this is. It's an 8.5 by 4.5 inch lightly buttered loaf pan, and I'm just going to stick the bread right down inside of it and lightly cover it with saran wrap. There we go. You don't want to put it down too tight because it will prevent your bread from doubling in size. It won't give it anywhere to grow to. So, alright guys, I'm going to put this in my food dehydrator, which has a bread dough rise setting on it. But you could certainly do this in your home oven. Just preheat it to the lowest setting available. I think it's around 170 on mine. And as soon as it reaches its preheat state, I immediately turn off my oven and turn on the light bulb inside. And it makes a wonderful proofing box. We're going to let this rise for about an hour or until it has doubled in size. And I will bring you back then so you can see what it looks like. Alright, I have pulled the bread out of my proofer and it's doubled in size and ready to go in the oven. It's going to go in at 400 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes, or until when you insert a toothpick into the middle, it comes away clean. So let's get it in there, get it baked, and see what it looks like when it's done. Alright, the bread is out of the oven. It looks delicious. It smells really good. It almost smells like cinnamon bread, which is never a bad thing in my opinion. But let's get it sliced up. I've let it cool on the countertop for probably 45 minutes, so it's still a little bit warm. But let's get in here and get a slice of it and see what it looks like on the inside. I'm just going to slice off the end piece here. I'm not an end of the loaf girl. I like the middle of it. But you can see it's turned out really nice. It smells really good. Alright, let's get some butter spread on it and give it a taste. I am really curious to see what it tastes like. There we go. Alright guys, it tastes, it's got a little bit of a lavender hint to it. I do still kind of get that cinnamony bread feeling from it. It's actually really, really good. Yeah, I'll definitely be making this one again. So remember, check out the playlist for the Elder Scrolls Cookbook, as well as the community-driven playlist, Gamers and Geeks Can Cook. I will leave links down in the description to them. If you guys like this video, leave me a comment. If you guys tried this recipe, let me know how it turns out for you. But for now, thank you for joining me. I've been Vault Girl. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope I see you in the next one.